Good morning, everyone. Boker Tov. Happy Rosh Chodesh Adar once again today. The Torah portion Terumah discusses the fundraising campaign to build the first synagogue, the first sanctuary, tabernacle in the desert. And the opening words say, "Speak to the children of Israel, v'yikchu li trumah. They shall take for me an offering." And the famous question is, it should have said, "They shall give for me an offering." Why does it say they shall take for me an offering? And I would like to offer two out of many of the answers given to this question. The first answer is that everything in this world belongs to Hashem. Imagine somebody gave you $1 million, and then they called you a week later and they said, "Can you do me a favor? Can you give me $100? And you say, "No, I don't want to give it to you." The person just gave you $1 million. How could you refuse their request? And so therefore the Torah says, "V'yikchu li, take from me, take from what is really mine that I gave it to you in the first place. I'm only asking you for a portion of what I've given you in the first place." I want you to know, ever since I was a child, I was taught that when I put my name on something, for example, a book, if I write my name in it, I don't just write my name, I add 3 letters. What are those 3 letters? Lamed, Hey, and Vav. They're an acronym for 3 words. Al Hashem ha'aretz umloho, which means to God belongs the world and everything contained within it. And then I put my name down, indicating that, yes, this book may be in my possession, but it really belongs to God. And therefore, when a person understands that everything they have is a gift from God, they're happy to give a portion of that as a contribution. But the second reason why it says v'yikchu li is because the Torah is teaching us that whenever you give, you're simultaneously taking. You cannot give without receiving. So don't focus on the act of giving. Focus that you are receiving more through this act of kindness and generosity. Whenever you do a good deed, you feel good about it. You feel happier. And that's why in Hebrew the word for acts of kindness is always in the plural, gemilut chasadim. Someone once said that those who take may eat better, but those who give sleep better. So the Torah says, v'yikchu li, yes, you are giving, but at the same time, you are receiving more by giving. And therefore, it's an act of taking as well. There's a woman by the name of Dr. Eva Edgar. She's 95 years old. She lives in California. She wrote a famous book called The Choice when she was 90 years old. She was a survivor of the Holocaust, and she became a psychologist and helps people overcome their pain based on her experiences in Auschwitz. And in her famous book called The Choice, she tells the story how and she celebrated her 17th birthday in Auschwitz. And she was a ballerina dancer. And one time, Joseph Mengele, the evil, cruel Nazi doctor, came into the barrack and wanted to be entertained. And so the other girl said, "Well, she's a ballerina." And he said, "I want you to dance for me." And he started to play music. And she had to close her eyes and imagine that she was on the concert stage in Austria where she would often perform, and perform before this sadistic, evil Nazi doctor. When she finished, Dr. Mengele gave her a loaf of bread for her performance, which she immediately shared with all the girls in her barrack. Later, at the end of her time in Auschwitz, they went on a death march through Austria, and she was so emaciated and starving that she started to collapse. She couldn't walk, and if she would not continue walking, she would be shot to death on the spot. And the other girls that she had shared her bread with formed a human cheer with their arms and put her on their arms and carried her. And that's the way she survived